Hecky, the first week of pre-season training is about to come to an end. How have the lads been looking so far?
Yeah, really good. Come back really fit. Really pleased with that. We've got one or two who we're still not on the grass from injuries, obviously from last season and things, but they'll be making their way back into the rest of the group over the next week. So should all be coming away with us to Spain, which is good. Yeah, so we've been really pleased. Enjoyed their application, seen some really good stuff. We've had a lot of the younger pros up with us, a couple of the scholars, which is always good for them to get that exposure. Yeah, it's been a really good few days so far.
What kind of things have you been getting up to? Because sometimes pre-season can be a lot of just being ran into the ground, but they have also had the footballs out quite a lot this week.
Yeah, not too many sessions. Lids has obviously come in a change, we'll probably speak about that later, but has come in and got a couple of things that he really likes to do, because if the runs that he likes and assessments, if you like, that he knows and familiar is with, then he gets a good idea of where our players are at compared to players he's worked at in the past. So got another one of those tomorrow. We had one of those on Tuesday, that's it. The rest of the time it's been conditioning with the balls, which is the most important thing. Yeah, but that'll continue. So a lot of afternoon sessions. They had Wednesday afternoon off though. They'll get tomorrow afternoon off. But I think really it's just the volume we've got into the players this week. We're missing a lot of players obviously at the top end of the pitch who aren't here yet, and we need to recruit there. So we've not been able to work anything on that. So it's just been familiarising the boys with some key messages from last season who know that, and then it's obviously new to the new players who's coming through the door. Yeah, so that's been the only tactical element.
You've obviously had four of your new arrivals already here with training. Daniel Jefferson to come. How have they settled in the first week? I know it's early days, but everyone seems to be getting on really well so far.
Yeah, really good. Obviously Jordan had that ankle injury end of last season, so he's not back with us yet. He's rehabbing at the minute with Jacko. Yeah, but the other boys have been great, fitted in well. It's a good group to come into, to be honest. Like we know that we will be adding more players. That's a fact. We will. You mentioned one already who's come in next Wednesday with us, Jebo, who obviously I know well, and he's coming into a really, a good group of players who apply themselves really, really well.
While we're talking about Daniel Jefferson, he is obviously someone you've worked with before. What things will he bring to this team?
He's got unbelievable athleticism. Like it stands out in the Premier League. His fitness is great. His top end speed's fantastic. But the good thing is he can keep repeating that top end speed over and over. And anyone who's followed him, obviously I know him and worked with him a lot when he was younger. Gave him his debut, and then got a good move to Bournemouth. I think they took advantage of circumstance and got him for a really good fee. You know, working with potential, but he'd missed a lot of football just prior to that move. And then he had a loan spell at Watford, which was up and down, difficult place for him to go. Then went back to Bournemouth and did really well the last sort of dozen games, and showed what he has got at the Premier League level. You know, even though it was like 20-30 minute cameos, he was coming on and impacting games. And yeah, that's what we're wanting. Obviously for more minutes on the pitch than what he was showing at Bournemouth. And he's obviously the same, and so Bournemouth, that they've allowed him to come to us because they think that I know him really well. It'll be a good place for him to develop, and we'll give him that opportunity to develop as well.
You spoke towards the end of last season about wanting change this summer, and that's already happened largely with players leaving, players coming in, but also staff behind the scenes. I know that there's still plenty of work to come, with still a couple of months left of the transfer window, but right now as we sit here, are you pleased with what's happened so far? Really
pleased, yeah. Start with staff first. Joe's come in from Wigan. We've two analysts have left. Joe's come in as one of the first team analysts and been really impressed with his knowledge of his profession, what he does, and also he's a PNE fan, which always helps. But the knowledge of what he does, but also his work rate and how effective what he produces is. It's really, really good. It'll support everything we want to do. So that's been a big change, one that I'm really happy with. Then from more of a coaching aspect, I've already touched on Lids. Andy Liddell's come in, fitness coach, and Jason Ewell. The really important thing for me is how many dressing rooms I've been in. I'm not saying you've got to have been a player to work in football, but I certainly want more of those people around, and they've had promotions to the Premier League as players, they've been in dressing rooms, they know what it's about, and then they've gone on since the playing days and worked in some top environments as a coach, internationally and domestic experience. So for me, they're great additions, and again allow us to work how we want to work. And it sounds silly, but I'm here now, and I know, chatting to you guys, but I know what's happening over there now away from me is exactly how I want it to be. So from my point of view, that's really reassuring.
You mentioned Joe there. There's been other changes to kind of how you're doing analysis and recruitment this season. How different is that going to look to previous years here?
Well, I think recruitment's changed. That's obviously, I have my input, but I think it's just sensible from the club, what the club's done, brought in another scout, changed what we do. I think one of the strengths we've got is how close the scouting department is to Peter and the decision makers at the club. It's really, really good. There's no one muddying the waters. Our job is to know what market that we're working in and then try and excel in that market better than everyone else. We can't moan at what others have got or what we've not got. We have to be really, really good in the market that we're working in, and I think having that connectivity between all departments, whether it's the management, the recruitment, and at board level is really, really good. But what I can say is what we've done so far is everything that we wanted to do. I think we've made some good, not only additions to the squad, but good improvements to the squad, and will help us from game 1 all the way through to game 46.
Obviously, in an ideal world, you would have had them here day 1 of pre-season, but is it just a case of as soon as you can get the right bodies through the door, the club will make that stuff happen?
Yeah, like I said, we've been one of the most active. We had to be. We did so much work during the season, which meant we could be on the front foot. And like I said, really delighted with what we've done so far. But yeah, we're miles away from finished, like long way. Yeah, and it doesn't get easier as the window gets on. But what we did do, we gave ourselves a real good head start, stole a march on some clubs, and managed to recruit really, really well. What we've got to do now is, between now, well, I wouldn't want it to drag to the end of the window. I'd say between now and the start of the season, I'd like to have everything done. Then you've got your players, but who knows how difficult or how sort of time consuming that might be.
Focusing on the football side of things, you've got 3 games coming up next week. They come around very quickly. Obviously, it's our first pre-season with you. What does a pre-season under you look like in terms of matches? Is it a case of fitness, or is it also, we want to go and take those games serious?
Both. Pre-season's irrelevant other than setting yourself up for the season. So lots of things you're looking at. Obviously, the physical fitness of the players have been great so far, but in terms of their actual levels, but we've got to prepare them for, making really robust for how tough a championship season is. So that's the physical element of it. We've got a big thing in terms of bonding new players and creating a good spirit between players. You've already mentioned 5 coming in, there'll be a lot more. So that's important. Identifying and being really clear of these new players, what their roles is within the team, and making sure everyone knows how we want to play as a squad is important. But everything we're doing is all about the 9th of September. So yeah, the games are part of training really. Building the minutes up and the exposure that the boys get will be really important. I'd like them, as many as possible, to have had at least a couple of 90 minutes before we do play that first game. And how we do that, we've got games, as you said, penciled in. We'll do it in-house as well. Yeah, but that sort of formula for me doesn't change. Yeah, but obviously resources you have when you go to different clubs means how you implement that. But yeah, we're really organised. We've got it all sorted. Yeah, and all those things I've spoke about will be all ticked off before that 9th of August.
And what does a week in Spain do for you? How different does that look to a week here in Exton?
Well, it gives us, we're living in each other's pockets, which is, listen, believe me, I couldn't do that forever, but for a week I can just about manage it. But it's good, a change of facilities. We've got a venue where everything's on site, so we're all staying together. The training pitch is right outside. The gym is right on site. The spa and recovery facilities are right on site. Indoor, outdoor pool. There's a beach literally 200 metres away, so we'll be in the sea there as well. Yeah, and then with us being all together, we've got all those things I spoke about. We've got a lot more time then to have the individual meetings, unit meetings, a lot of more fun, competitive stuff that isn't football, which I always run through pre-season as well. So yeah, it gives you a great chance to bring everyone together.
And while all that's been going on over the summer, and you say you've been working hard on summer transfer recruits and all of that, off the pitch there's been new sponsorship which has created big exposure for the club with Spud Bros, 11,500 season cards sold. Do you feel that kind of buzz around the place at the minute? It feels like a really positive place to be.
I hope it is. Listen, I don't feel it because I'm not. You just said you sort of got your blinkers on and it's just about working hard. For me, this is, it's always the worst and hardest working time. You've got to get it right. How hard we do what we produce as a squad will determine how well we can do this season. So it's a really important time. But I hope there is that. Like I said, the work we've done so far, the business we've done, is exactly what we wanted to do. Delighted with it. Like really pleased. And that work started in November, So that's how hard you've got to work. I think we did steal a march on some clubs and that's paid off with what we've done so far.